Jay Fortune checking in. Shout out to our members. It's Sports Club Florida going live on Florida Citrus Sports High School Football Media Days. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a legend. I have an icon. I have a titan in the city where I'm from. And I'm going to let him introduce himself before we get into it. Talk to the people one time, man.
Chris Hayes, Orlando Sentinel. Glad to be here, Jay.
Sir, you've been doing this a very long time, and you're very, very good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
For our members that are out of town and may not be in Orlando, may not be in the Orlando area, may not have been subscribed to the Orlando Sentinel. I've been reading the Orlando Sentinel my whole life. So let's give them a little bit of a rundown of who's speaking to them right now.
Well, at the Sentinel, as you know, we cover high school football in the 7-county area here in Central Florida. And the main focus of my job over the past 15 years has been covering the recruiting aspect of it. And not just covering where kids are going to go to college, but, kind of like following them along the process of them receiving offers, things like that. But also a big part of what I do, the hope of what I do is to help kids get attention, because there's a lot of kids out there who are great players, but they don't get a lot of attention. Absolutely. So what I like to do is help these kids out.
Yeah. Media days.
Yeah.
This is different. This is different from last year. This is different from the year before. Give us your take on it as a expert.
Well, I think it's awesome because at the Sentinel, we used to, starting in like 2008, something like that, we did our own at the Sentinel building. Now, as time has progressed, we don't even have a building anymore. We have a small office over here downtown Orlando. But Dan LaForest, the key instigator in all of this process, has gotten together all the counties with our media days here at the Citrus Bowl. This year, it's been in other places before, but this is really big. He's got all the counties from any of the surrounding areas, and it's just huge, all the way from Ormond Beach clear down to Lakeland and all of those schools. So it's a 3-day event, and it's great because all the kids come here, all the coaches, and we get to see them all.
Yes, sir, and we're in day 2 right now. It's been a blast so far. We've been having a great time. Give us your thoughts on yesterday.
Yesterday was really good. I mean, there's 43 teams here. It's just amazing to think we can run 43 teams through here in what was about an 8-hour process, really.
Didn't even break a sweat.
It was crazy. But it's great to see everybody, get to see everybody face-to-face.
Absolutely. Because
a lot of times I'm just seeing guys on the field and they're behind helmets, so this is a little bit nicer process.
It's crazy, especially in recruiting nowadays. You're in the relationship business.
Oh, yeah.
And it changes every day, especially yesterday and the day before when you talk about NIL coming into the mix. How do you feel like, starting with Orange County, because obviously this is what we're based at, how do you feel like we stack up with the rest of the state? Like, give us your, not a forecast, but kind of your expert opinion on how things are looking.
Well, I can tell you what I've seen so far. We're going to have our usuals. Osceola, Edgewater, Jones, Lake Mary's going to be good. Seminole will be great. And Apopka, just the usual teams that are good are going to be good again. And that's just kind of the process. They just keep pulling them back in, more and more talent. And but there will be some up and coming teams. I think Oviedo looks good this year. Then we have the First Academy, which has 30 transfers, something like that, and some really good players. So I'd be interested to see how they fit together on the field. And it's going to be an exciting year because there's a lot going on with the schools that we're used to seeing.
Absolutely.
But then there's some new people on the horizon.
It's just great to see you out and about, still putting it for the love, like, because you've done enough in the game to where you really don't have to be out here. But the fact that you are, for someone like me who looks up to you the way I do, thank you for being out here. Thank you for caring as much as you do.
Well, no, it's my pleasure, and this is like being out on the field is a blessing to me every day, because that's just where I want to be. I don't feel like I'm working. I don't feel like this is a job. I love the kids. It's awesome to communicate with them, to interact with them, and I'm 60 years old, and it makes me feel young with these kids out here. So I'm just rocking and rolling with them.
That's funny. These kids make me feel old.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for the media, like the media landscape? How do you feel the media is, doing? Like you said, the Sentinel building is something that I grew up driving past. It's not there anymore. It seems like the game is changing so many different ways. There's so many different influences in the music media space. Can you speak a little bit to that and just some words of advice that you may have?
Yeah, everything's changed so much. Kids don't read the newspaper now. I mean, if they're going to read it, they're going to see it online.
Yep.
And even if they do then because now it's such a big deal to the kids with the recruiting process and websites like 247 or Rivals, and recently On3 has come aboard, and that's where the kids look to see, where am I ranked or what's going on with me, and do they have all my offers, and that's kind of the mentality what we face with social media, because everybody wants to be out there now. And it's a whole different landscape. And then you bring NIL into it, and there's a whole different kind of a feel for especially upper echelon players, because now they're not only looking to get attention, but now they want real attention, like real money. So
there was a lot of diamonds in the room. Yeah. Yesterday. Well, like we said, this is day 2. I've seen you making your rounds, maneuvering. What are you looking forward to today? Like, what programs have you been paying attention to? What programs are on your radar?
And I tell you what, somebody who is really exciting for me is because of the newness of their situation is the Masters Academy, which is in Oviedo. Garrett Krusik, the son of Mike Krusik, the old UCF coach.
Yeah.
They have something going on over there at Masters Academy. Garrett's the head coach. Mike is his assistant coach. His father is his assistant coach.
Love to see it.
But they won state last year in the Sunshine State Conference. Yeah. And their quarterback was an 8th grader. And their tight end, who I think very highly of, is Oakley Hunter. And he was only a sophomore last year. And they only have 3 seniors, so I anticipate this team's going to win state again and again, because Jackson Stecker is their quarterback, and he's only going to be a freshman. So that's going to be exciting for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, living legend, Chris Hayes in the building. Let the kids know where they can find you. Are you on TikTok? Like, how do they get in touch with you these days?
I am on TikTok, but I don't use it very much. Maybe I'll get kicking with that, but Twitter's what I use mostly. It's OS_Chris Hayes, HAYS.
Simple.
So
it's easy.
That's me.
Hey, shout out to the members. This is Sports Club Florida, here with Chris Hayes, Florida Citrus Sports High School Football Media Days.
Thanks, Jay. You're too kind.
Appreciate you, brother.